Good morning, boys and girls. Hope you're having a good day. Today we're going to read the next 3 chapters of our read aloud, The Escape from Mr. Lemoncello's Library. Chapter 31. So, does anybody have a clue as to why we were supposed to find this book? Asked Kyle. He and his teammates were back in the young adult room staring at the cover of Get to Know Your Local Library. Too early to tell, said Miguel. Let's keep playing. This book will probably make more sense once we go into the other rooms and pick up more clues. Whose turn is it? Asked Akemi. Yours, said Kyle. Flick the spinner. Akemi flicked the spinner. Finger kicked the plastic pointer. Purple, she yelled when the arrow slid to a stop. The 800s room. That means you move 8 spaces, mumbled Kyle. Except today. Akemi reached for the card on top of the purple stack. When she saw what was written on it, she frowned. What was the clue? Asked Kyle. Something about literature, rhetoric, or criticism? Asked Miguel. Nope, said Akemi. It's a wild card with a riddle. Read it, said Sierra. I rhyme with dart and cracker jacks. Visit me to find a rhyme for Andy. Everyone take a minute and think. What might rhyme with dart and cracker jacks? What might rhyme with Andy? Peckelman, said Kyle. How'd he get his name on a card? Bro, said Miguel. Nobody calls Andrew Peckelman Andy. Of course, it could mean Andrew Jackson, the 7th President of the United States. Or Andy Panda, said Akemi. Or Andrew Carnegie, said Sierra. He was a generous supporter of libraries. Okay, said Kyle. Let's concentrate on the first part of the riddle. What rhymes with dart and cracker jacks? Smart and heart attacks, suggested Miguel. Art and bracabracs, said Sierra. Art and artifacts, said Akemi, nailing it. They hurried over to the art and artifacts room. Everybody check out the display cases, said Kyle. See if anything rhymes with the word Andy. Well, this model of the old bank building is certainly grandy, said Miguel, and the Pharaoh's pyramid and Sphinx would be sandy if they weren't made out of Legos. True, said Kyle, sounding unconvinced about both. Check it out, you guys, said Akemi, who was studying a row of styrofoam heads supporting hats. This plaid fedora from 1968 was worn by a guy named Leopold Laplali. So, said Kyle, according to this plaque, Laplali was one of the notorious dandy bandits. Dandy rhymes with Andy. That it does, said Miguel. However, Laplali does not. Neither does Leopold, added Kyle. Candy rhymes with Andy, said Sierra. She was staring at the objects in a display case under a banner reading, Welcome to the Wonderful World of Willy Wonka. Awesome, said Miguel, hurrying over to admire the collection of everlasting gobstoppers, glumptuous gloppers, Laffy Taffy, and pixie sticks displayed under a giant sea of purple velvet. Mr. Lemoncello is a lot like Willy Wonka, said Kyle. You mean crazy? Said Akemi. I prefer the term eccentric. And Dr. Zinchenko is his Oompa Loompa, said Sierra. Everybody started giggling. Nah, said Akemi. She's too tall. And not nearly orange enough, added Miguel. The Willy Wonka book was written by Roald Dahl, said Sierra, who Kyle figured could name 12 other books but the guy wrote 2. In it, Mr. Wonka takes Charlie and Grandpa Joe home in a flying glass elevator that crashes through the roof of his chocolate factory. Everybody thought about this for a second. So now we have to find a glass elevator, said Akemi, because there is not one on the floor plan. But Mr. Lemoncello is just wild enough to build one, said Kyle. And if he did, he probably wouldn't put it on the floor plan. No way, said Miguel. Everybody would want to ride on it. I know I would, said Sierra. So we're seriously searching for a secret glass elevator, said Akemi. Maybe, said Kyle. Maybe not. This is just another piece of the gigantic jigsaw puzzle. We won't see the whole picture until we collect all the pieces. Or until someone shows us the box lid, cracked Akemi. Look, it's only 6 p.m., said Kyle, and we're collecting a ton of good information. You mean a ton of random information, said Akemi. Well, said Miguel, once we have more clues, we can use Sherlock Holmes's famous deductive reasoning method to make logical connections between all the random junk. Works for me, said Kyle. But if we're going to play Sherlock Holmes, we need to go spin that spinner and dig up more clues. The game's afoot, said Sierra. Huh? Kyle and Akemi said together. Sorry, it's just something Sherlock says to Watson whenever he gets excited. Sherlock Holmes, Kyle had just found another bunch of books to add to his reading list. Chapter 32. Okay, Sierra, said Kyle. Your turn. Sierra flicked the spinner. The pointy tip ended up in the yellow 200 zone, so she went ahead and pulled a yellow card. It's definitely for the 200 section, she said, showing her clue to Miguel before revealing it to Kyle and Akemi. Weird, said Miguel. What? Said Akemi before Kyle could. Well, the 200s is where they keep the book on world religions. But there are 2 numbers on this card, said Sierra. Maybe this time we need to find 2 books, suggested Kyle. I don't know, said Sierra, studying her card. 220.5203 is definitely a call number. Obviously, said Akemi, but the other number isn't in the proper format. 2/20/15. February 20th, 2015? Said Akemi. Quick, what happened on that date? Nobody knows, said Kyle, because it hasn't happened yet. Oh, right. Okay. How about February 20th, 1915? That would be the opening day of Panama Pacific International Exposition in San Francisco, said Sierra. Jaws dropped. Sorry, I'm a big World's Fair fan. Everybody else just nodded. Finally, Miguel spoke up. Look, let's go down to the 200s room and find 220.5203. We can figure out the second chunk later. The team once again trooped down to the second floor and worked their way around the circular balcony. You guys, said Sierra, looking across the atrium at the statues, remember how they switched up the hologram authors when Bridget Wadge did her extreme challenge? Yep, said Kyle. She was doing good till she got to that Russian dude. What Russian dude? Asked Miguel, who hadn't witnessed Bridget's elimination. The guy wrote five or six books Sierra could tell you about. But look, said Sierra, now all the author statues are the same ones they were last night. So, said Kyle thoughtfully, if they can switch them around, these must be clues for the game, blurted Akemi as she pulled out a pen and notepad. I'll write down their names. Start with the guy under the 000's wedge of the Wonder Dome, suggested Kyle. Right. Akemi read the labeled pedestals and jotted all the authors' names. Thomas Wolfe, Booker T. Washington, Stephen Sondheim, George Orwell, Lewis Carroll, Dr. Seuss, Maya Angelou, Shel Silverstein, Pseudonymous Bosch, Todd Strazer. So, said Akemi when she finished writing, do you think this game could get any more complicated? Maybe, said Kyle. It's possible that Mr. Lemoncello left a couple different paths to the same solution. Well, personally, I can only take one path at a time, said Akemi. So let's go find 220 point whatever. Should be in the next row of books cases, said Miguel. Here we go, 220.5203. The King James Bible. An excellent choice, said a man with a thick German accent. The 4 teammates spun around. They were face to face with a semi-transparent guy in medieval garb with a full fur-trimmed cap and a beard that looked like 2 raccoon tails sewn together under his nose and chin. I am Johannes Genfleisch Zurladen zum Gutenberg, said the holographic image, who had ink stains all over his fingertips. You created the Gutenberg Bibles on your printing press, gushed Sierra. Ja, big bestseller. You need help with your Bible? I'm at your service. He bowed. Oh, okay, said Akemi, turning to Miguel. Take it away, Miguel. Gutenberg, sir, we're looking for 22015. Das it and fetch. Huh? That's easy. 2:20:15 is Exodus chapter 20, verse 15. Of course, said Miguel. Exodus is the second book of the Bible. 20 and 15 are the chapter and verse. He flipped through some pages. Here we go. Exodus chapter 20, verse 15. It's one of the 10 commandments. Thou shalt not steal. Chapter 33. Let's put the 2 new cards on the table, said Charles. He and his so-called teammates, Andrew and Haley, Charles planned on dumping them both right before he made his glorious solo exit from the library, had scoured the library together for hours looking for more book cover matches. Peckelman wasn't nearly as good with the Dewey Decimal System as he had claimed to be, and Charles needed someone to do that sort of thing for him. His father always hired tutors or research assistants for him whenever Charles had to do a major paper or report. Finally, around 6 p.m., coincidentally in the 600s room, they scored twice, finding Tea for You and Me and Why Wait to Lose Weight. Now their picture puzzle only had 4 blanks remaining. Here's their rebus. Okay, said Andrew. I think it's pretty clear. Woolly blank walk up the skinny blank blank house, Indian and 19 blank. Charles nodded and said, interesting, even though he knew Peckelman was way off. Hello, said Haley. That doesn't make any sense. Sure it does, said Andrew. No it doesn't. In his head, Charles had decoded the clues so far as you, which is a female sheep, blank, walk out, THE, way, blank, blank, in, past, blank. So if you look, you, blank, walk, out, THE, so the, wait, the way, I'm sorry, she's weighing herself, blank, blank, in, this is a picture of an inn, this is Indiana, so in, 19 blank. But out loud, he said, I think we just need to tweak Andrew's translation a little. Fine, go ahead. I don't care. Andrew slumped down in his seat to sulk. How about she blank walks out the skinny blank blank house 500 and past blank? Where did you get she? Asked Haley. From sheep, the card you gave us. Actually, I think the sheep is supposed to represent you, because a ewe is a female sheep. Fascinating, said Charles. I didn't figure that out. What he did figure out was that Haley Daly was much smarter than he had assumed. She could be a serious threat, and no way was Charles sharing his prize with anybody, especially her. And how did you get 500 from Indiana? She asked. Simple. Indianapolis is the capital of Indiana, and is home to a race known as the Indy 500. Okay, so how about you blank walk out the skinny blank blank inn, because the Nancy Drew book was about an inn, 500 pass or past blank. Now Peckelman piped up. That makes more sense than what you said, Charles. Indeed, said Charles, sounding monogamous. Perhaps the clues are telling us to locate a secret skinny passageway 500 paces past some landmark here in the library. Andrew was excited. This is like a pirate map from Treasure Island. Or, said Haley, maybe these clues are telling us that we need to go out and find the 4 books we haven't found yet. We should split up. I'll go back to the 400s room. We've already been there, said Andrew. Well, you guys might have missed something. Good idea, said Charles. He figured if Haley Daly wasted time retracing steps he and Andrew had already taken, she would find nothing new and become less of a threat. Let's meet back here at, say, 7? Fine. Haley left the meeting room. Charles went to the door and closed it. You know what we really need, he said to Andrew. Chocolate milk and maybe some cookies? Charles shook his head. No, Andrew, we need whatever clues Kyle Keeley and his team has found, especially if they have our missing cards.